So one of the biggest dreams that I've always had in life is to be able to travel the world freely without much of a budget and time freedom. And so that takes a special group of people. So recently, I invited a bunch of entrepreneurs and influencers to travel all around the Nusa Islands. And if you've heard anything about the Nusa Islands, maybe not, you've probably seen like this famous Insta picture, and that's what inspired my whole trip. Literally, I gotta give credit to the gram. I saw this picture on Instagram, and I had people coming back from there telling me, yo, this is one of the most amazing places that I've ever been, no filter needed. So pretty much a week in advance, like I said, I reached out to a bunch of entrepreneurs and influencers that I knew that had the time or budget. And then they're like, yo, I'm down. So a group of 15, maybe even 20 of us went down to the Nusa Islands for 5 days, 3 days in Nusa Penida and 2 days in Nusa Lembongan. And let me let you know right now, no filter is needed. It's literally better than almost any other place that I've seen. I've been traveling for 10 years nonstop, and I was really simply blown away. Literally, I saw so many places that I've never seen before, and the color of the blue was just, it was truly majestic. So anyways, man, without talking too much, you're gonna come roll around with us for the next 5 days all through the Nusa Penida Island. And obviously, I'm not in Nusa anymore, I'm back home in Chicago. So now let's talk about getting to the island and more of the logistics of this trip. And so I learned a lot when I was going there. So the thing about Nusa Islands, they're very up and coming, especially Nusa Penida. They got these crappy ass roads. People are gonna be ripping you off if you don't know what to do. And there's not much infrastructure there. It's really a hidden gem. And if you know how much like a place like Canggu in Bali has changed over the last 10 years or in the last 5 years, that's what I envision happening to the Nusa Penida Island. And it's pretty much like an untouched gem. So if you can go there, the sooner the better. I highly recommend it. So, and the great thing about it is, right, so the Gili Islands, a lot more people know about that and a lot more people are exploring. But with the Nusa Islands, like I said, pretty much untouched. And so when you go to Sanur in Bali, so basically mainland Bali, it's only a 30-minute ride to the Nusa Islands. So I was like, damn, 30 minutes? And so we rolled up to shore, everyone's there at the harbor, you know, we're just dapping it up, and it costs about 100 to 200,000 rupiah, depending on the type of speedboat. So the hotel that we booked, we arranged transportation with them, so we knew the speedboat that we were gonna get, and it cost us 150,000 one way to get to Penida Islands. And the boat ride was amazing. You know, kind of choppy, speedboat, boom, 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 boom. And you get the beautiful view of the city, super fast, and I can't recommend it enough. So once we roll up to the island of Penida, they're waiting for us there at the hotel. They have the cars ready. And even, let me reverse a little bit. When you literally hop off the boat, you just see the beautiful white sand and you see the island. You're like, wow, I'm truly in a special place. Because one of the crappy things about Bali, even though it's marketed and it is a magical place, they don't have a lot of the best beaches unless you're like in the main parts of Bali, like where most of the tourists goes. But Uluwatu, they have like the one Carmen beach. But besides that, in the main part, the beaches are pretty trash. I mean, and that's just straight up. So we rode up to our hotel and they market it. It's a Pandawa Resort, great place, really friendly staff, amazing view over the city. So it's marketed as a 5-star luxury resort. I'll just let my facial expression tell the story. It's more like a 3-star resort. But the thing is, you have such limited options on Nusa. There was this other hotel, I forgot the name of it, I'll list it. It looked like they had a pretty good view, and the man behind the camera, he stayed there before, and he said that place was pretty good, but they only had like 2 rooms, and there was this big group of us. But like I said, food prices there are really fair, dope place. And so for the value, for the 70, 80 bucks I paid, I was like, hey, it's a good value, but just don't expect a 5-star resort. They don't have that kind of infrastructure, so don't expect the 4 seasons when you roll up to Nusa Penida. But that's another point. If you want to get in on the ground floor, and I see a massive opportunity there for investing, as long as you have someone there to like manage, your investments, right? Because like there's not that much infrastructure, but as far as many people coming to Bali, and they are going there, I'd say an excellent investing opportunity. And then so one of the things about the islands is transportation. So they have all these group tours that you can do, and you can book them online. But after being there, I figured out one of the best ways to get around is actually just get a private driver, and they're like $600,000-700,000 for the day. And now if you're doing these group tours, they charge you like that or even more per person. And all they do is drive you to these individual spots. So I was like, what's really the point? And if I was by myself, I would run a bike. I love riding a bike, and if you know how to ride dirt bikes because of the potholes, highly recommend it. But a scooter, you can get around, but just be safe. There's a lot of gravel. I want to kind of get that forewarning. People out there scraping arms up, getting all messed up. So, just kind of be aware. But a bike is how I get around if I was comfortable on the bike, because GPS and everything work fine out there. But like I said, so the first day in Nusa, we kind of just chilled out. Then we went to dinner. So one of my favorite things about this trip is the group that I went with, right? A bunch of entrepreneurs and influencers and people just doing amazing things that have this kind of free time that are digital nomads, right? And so at dinner, we're just chopping it up and talking about how we can improve life together, just masterminding. For example, one of my homies that came along was my homie Gavin. So you might have even seen some of his Forbes articles or whatever. So last year he did about $3 million. And so him and his partner, they have like this little magnet that like attaches your phone, whatever, in the car. And they did like $3 million in sales. So there's so many different ways people are entrepreneurs online. And that's just like one of my homies that came along. And so we were talking about Facebook ads and a whole bunch of other things. But I'll talk about it and drop other people throughout the footage. And then so the next day we woke up, we got to the activities, because when you're in Nusa, you want to go out and explore as much as you can. So the first thing that we did is we took this, it was about an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I fell asleep, I'm always falling asleep in the car. And we went to Teletubby Hills. If you're from the city, you've never seen green grass before in hills, it might be super interesting to you. But like if you're taking a day trip to Nusa, I wouldn't recommend going and seeing the Teletubby Hills. They're cool if you've never seen no hills. Like, ooh, grass, hills. But if you've seen grass and hills, it ain't that impressive. So I was like, yo, fam, take me somewhere that's gonna impress me. Next spot though, Diamond Beach. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Literally one of the most beautiful places I've seen in my entire life. Now, to get the full experience, that's another story. So you roll up there, you pay your 10,000 rupiah entrance, some of the best money I've ever spent in my life. And then there's 2 options. You can kind of walk long, and you can go down to there's like a restaurant part further down. We went down to like the actual beach part, but to get down, it ain't no joke. And maybe by the time you're watching it, they're like, oh, lots of people are coming. Maybe we're gonna put some safety precautions in. People are gonna die. And so the hike down is no joke. I was like, oh, God, please get me down here and up here, okay. Because it's not the easiest thing. Yo, bro, I'm not a climber. I don't know if black people are used to this, but hey, I might as be one of the first. Woo. If you completely out of shape, miss me with this, don't do it. I'm giving you that word of advice. But if you're in moderate shape and you know how to kind of climb, you can get down there. And then so when you get down there, the beaches are kind of empty because it doesn't, at the time of recording this, it's not that safe to get down. Like in America, it'd be like, yo, what y'all doing? But out here in Bali, we ain't got really rules like that. But once you get down there, one of the most beautiful beaches I've seen in my entire life, no cap. And then when you roll up, they got this guy cutting coconuts. I mean, they're double the price of regular coconuts if you're up there. But I was like, you deserve it. If you're carrying the coconuts and everything down here, I'm willing to pay your ass double. And then they got a swing, like where you can swing out and go overlooking the water. Absolutely incredible. But then we literally just spent 2-3 hours down there talking, going in the water, just relaxing and having an amazing time. Like, I definitely don't recommend rushing this experience. It's one of the best beaches I guarantee that you will see in your life. As long as you have good weather, well worth the time investment to go down there. And then the hike, and then hiking back up, it's a real deal too. So like I say, I'm giving you that forewarning. And maybe by the time that you're watching this and you go there, the safety precautions, maybe they have some rails and stuff by the time that you get there. So after a couple days in Nusa Penida, it was time to head to Nusa Lembongan. And that's like a little 10-minute speedboat, which was another incredible journey. I love just being on the water. And then so we roll up to Nusa Lembongan. And the good thing about Nusa Lembongan, it's so much more developed than Nusa Penida currently. So if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have spent more of my time in Nusa Lembongan and taking day trips or just taking a 10-minute speedboat over to Nusa Penida. And so when we roll up to the resort here, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is more my style. Like, this is more my swag. So, like, they just have more infrastructure. The roads are nicer in Nusa Lembongan. So as soon as we drop our bags off, get checked in, all that good stuff, we have a date with Manta Rays. Yeah, I'm talking big ass Manta Rays. And so when I talk about the value now, it was like Lembongan Water Sport Company that we went with. This was actually something I felt great about paying for. The experience after, I was like, wow, that was worth the money. Like those group tours, miss me. But here, the boats are super new, like the instructors, super friendly, super knowledgeable. And we even, when we got there, like there's this lunch buffet thing, everything was just like, okay, like they're organized, they're doing things amazingly. And then from there, we took the boats out. We just had a good time. We had a few drinks. Life was good. And then we got in the water, bruh, these manta rays, they're like twice the size of me, like lengthwise. Like I'm talking like 12, 15 feet. I'm like, whoa, bruh. I know, I was like, they're like, you can get super close. I was like, nah, man, save that for the white boy. And so, all jokes aside, it was one of the most exhilarating feelings that I've ever had in my life. So exciting, so amazing just to be close to like these creatures in the water. And like I said, I can't say enough about the company. Highly, highly recommend them. Tell them your boy from Passport Heavy sent you. And everyone else was just, like the experience that they had, the reactions, it was just on their faces. They were just simply, blown away by the whole experience. And then by the time we're rolling back, sunset, just incredible view on the way back. And then again, after that, we just kind of went out for dinner. Steven was talking about this one burger spot, kept going on about this burger spot. And so we went to go check it out. I was like, it was all right. Wasn't the best burger in my life. Shout out to Yanito Burger in Panama. That's my favorite burger so far. But yeah, but the good thing was the kind of conversation that we were having at dinner. So talking about food, man, shout out. And then if you've probably seen this super in shape dude, so obviously you got my brother Abnormal Fitness, but he wasn't here on this trip. But we got my boy Aaron Darko, amazing entrepreneur. We've traveled all around the world together. And then he basically coaches entrepreneurs into getting into shape. And he has like his whole program. And just an amazing entrepreneur. And you can do that from anywhere, around the world. And so I just want to kind of break down a few people as you're seeing them, because here's the big difference with a lot of us, right? So most people, when they take vacations, they come back poorer than they are. When we travel, we get richer because we have more money coming in than is going out. So when we travel, our bank accounts are going up. So that's a big difference for most people. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone. Like some people are newer in the entrepreneurial realm or the influencer realm. And so like when you talk about someone like my homegirl, Renee, she wasn't on this trip, but she out here caking. Like I want to put her on blast, but she's making multiple six figures a year. And most people don't understand how that whole influencing world work and all this, this whole crazy world. And so I want to just continue to open the minds of people. And then even we'll probably do more educational things of like how these things break down in time. So maybe I'll twist Renee's arm and she'll come do maybe a little Passport Heavy info YouTube live. But anyway, back to Nusa Penida. And then so the next day we woke up, you know, another tour company took us about, and we went to Devil's Tier. But I don't want y'all to be crying. Don't let this be you. You see her, she almost died for the gram. Don't try it. Ocean says, don't try us, respect us. Put some respect on my name, right? And so when you first roll up, there's this little beach part, and you can see the tiers, it's not that crazy over there. But then they have like, literally, it's like a natural infinity pool. A natural infinity pool with just like the most incredible, oh, big tip. Buy water shoes before you go. Water shoes will change your whole trip in Nusa Penida. So like these rocks, they super hurt. People were cutting their feet, all types of stuff. And then those rocks, you know, I mean, that water, those waves, if you get the wrong wave, bro, gonna blow you away. You know, be aware. So, I mean, if the wave's not that crazy, you can get closer to the edge of what you're doing, but just be aware of nature. Please do not die for the gram. And so that was Devil's Tier, amazing over there. And then we proceeded to, you know, just explore more. Steven went over to Dream Beach. We didn't have time because we were just kind of around there. But like I said, super amazing area. They got guys over there cutting coconuts as well. Super amazing spot. And then we went over to Nusa Ceningan, maybe I'm saying that wrong. And there's this like amazing yellow bridge that you cross. And then over there, I saw the bluest of blue waters I've ever seen in my life. Unbelievable, no filter needed for the gram. And I was like, wow, this is really special. And I just had to kind of just sit quiet and just marvel at the beauty. People were like doing meditations and just like taking in the immense beauty that was around. And then so after that, we walked up a little appetite, and there was this restaurant not too far down the street, so we stopped there. And again, another amazing experience. So the owner, we come roll in 20 deep, and then I was like, yo, can we take over the DJ system? So he's letting us play our music. We playing Afro beats, we playing that Barry Pundit, we playing that Jordan Darko. People were just vibing out and having the most incredible time. You know, food was pretty good. And you just had the most amazing view. And the crazy thing about this spot is, you know, they have a swing out front. I don't know what it is about the Balinese, but I mean, they make sense. I love all the swing. But this spot, you can literally walk out 100, 200 meters into the water. Yeah, and then you're like on a mound in the middle of the water. Like, it was crazy. Like, hardly ever seen anything like it before in my life. Truly remarkable. Like I said, these Nusa Islands have so many places that will blow your mind. It's almost unbelievable. And it's so untouched. And I can't urge you enough, if you're in Bali, make that trip for at least a few days and go explore. I've been coming to Bali for 5 years, and I never went over there, 6 years, right? And never went there. And I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? You know, truly incredible experience. I said incredible so many times, I truly believe it. So shout out to that man behind the camera, right? So he went to Nusa at a different time. So JP's filming this voiceover with me in Chicago, but I gotta give a big shout out to Yuri. So Yuri is actually the one that filmed and edited this entire video, right? So it's his first passport heavy feature, so show him some love. But this footage you're about to see, this is when JP went to Nusa, and here's a few of the spots that he went to. Dope spots, right? And so one of the things that is super important is balance in life. And when you talk about one of the most marvelous, spectacular views while doing yoga that you could ever experience is definitely in Nusa Lembongan. Now, when you roll up, I don't know if you're even ready for the experience that you will have. Let the footage and the music take you to a place that you've never been before. wild, right? Like, this is like rated one of the best yoga spots in all of, you know, the Balinese areas. And with that view, I can see why, but the instructors are really incredible there. And then downstairs, they got like this nice, cool smoothie bowl, health, yoga, you know, that kind of energy food spot downstairs that you can check out. But like in closing, Nusa is a trip not to be missed. It's changing so much opportunity, you know, to grow there. And like I said, I gotta give a big shout out to like everyone that came on this trip and made it so special. It was just like a really family atmosphere, right? And so we're having like villa parties at night, we're hanging out, literally jumped in the pool with my clothes on, and we're just enjoying having a good time together. And I said, we gotta end this trip right. And so with all my entrepreneur friends and influencers, I was like, yeah, we took the little speedboat here, but you know, we passport heavy, baby. We gotta take the yacht back to the island. So the yacht is not the cheapest thing in the world to do. So if you wanna do a yacht, you'll find out the price of doing a yacht to the island. But we took a yacht back and it was truly, and we rode off into like, you know, we had the jet skis, everybody was falling off but me. It was just the most amazing experience. And then the views, we were eating, just everything about the yacht was what you work hard for, right? Those celebrations, those grind. Like even going back to Gavin, right? So I mentioned 3 million, but that man was working day in, day out, visualizing for years what he wanted to come to fruition. It was just a couple years ago his business started taking off. Before that, he was just hustling and grinding, struggling, right? Back home in cold Canada, trying to figure out how to make this stuff happen. So these things don't happen overnight, so I don't want to give you those kind of perceptions, right? You got my homeboy, Nate and Hannah came along on this trip. If you've watched any of my videos, they've been rocking out with me forever. Congratulations, going to see them get married in New Zealand later on this year. And the crazy thing is, yeah, I'll kind of leave you with this story. So as much as this is a travel video, I want to kind of leave you with some inspiration. Nate sent me a message maybe 6 years ago. And he's like, I see you traveling around the world and it's something I want to do. And he was a plumber at the time in New Zealand. So I kind of gave him some here. I'm like, hey, here's my Facebook stuff. Go through this, go through that. Long story short, because I really believed in what he was doing, then he came on the road with me, traveled through Europe for a bit. And but he put in the work for like years before that. And I saw him consistently working. I was like, boo, bro, come on the road with me. And then now he's doing things that are just beyond. I won't put out his numbers. He's kind of shy, but those Renee numbers, he's doing way crazier than that. But I won't put him on blast. He's really humble with what he does. And he's just learned to use the power of advertising, right? Facebook ads, you know, getting a good product. Same with Gavin. They've scaled up, you know, their e-commerce business with, you know, with Facebook ads. And so I just kind of want to leave that with you. But yeah, like I said, we were on the yacht, enjoying, sailed back home with the sunset, and we were just masterminding, talking about life and what it could really do for you and having that fun. But like I do at the end of every video, I gotta give some major shout outs. Everyone who came on this trip, I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming together. And that's another amazing thing. When everyone's like entrepreneurs and doing their own thing, everyone puts up their own bread. Everyone's paying for their own stuff. So it's like, there's like that cool synergy of like, everybody's doing their own thing. But first and foremost, big shout out to Yuri. Congratulations on your first Passport Heavy video. Super appreciate you. And thank you for rolling along. Lars, man, took so many incredible photos. Everyone that came along and made the trip what it is. Arnold, man, shout out to that boy Arnold, brand design, you know, graphic design, and really helped put this, you know, trip together. Thank you so much. And shout out to Tatiana. She helped put together a lot of this trip, reached out to a lot of stuff because she was working at like a turtle reservation. Oh, so cute, right? And then also Nathan was one of the other filmmakers, so he rolls with Aaron, but I know he helped provide some of this footage, so shout out to you. Like I said, shout outs to everyone. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time in Nusa, and if you roll up to any of these spots, man, tell them that boy Passport Heavy sent you. I'm gonna reach out to some of these places and try and get you guys some discounts and whatnot. But anyways, man, I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the time as much as we did. Peace. Bali 2019, we out of here.